Okay, so the agenda is that by the end of the session, you will be able to know why data science is the most sought after job in 2015, career opportunities with data science, advantages of data science, and understand how companies are using data science. Now, before we go ahead, the idea is not to make you pursue this data science field, rather to make you more informative about what exactly is there in the world of data science. What are the reasons that it's actually pushing this entire ecosystem of data science, and what exactly do we need to do once you become a data scientist? So why data science is the most sought after job in 2015? Let's find out. Well, the Fortune 100 companies board the data science flight, and the analysts get a salary band fit. So what does it mean? I mean, the first one is pretty clear, right? The legacy firms, the Fortune 100 firms, all of them are building up their data science team. So they are building up. They don't have an established team yet. So that means you get the first movers advantage in case you are in the first, in the initial member of the team. Analysts get a salary band lift. Companies looking to recruit data scientists need to make sure that the bands are competitive, and they basically think of ways to lure talent. So basically it's now, as I myself as a data scientist, and whenever I get a call from a company, they don't really ask me, how much of the salary is what I'm expecting. They're open to any kind of, salary hikes, whatever, I am asking them. So it's majorly, a candidate driven market. It's not a market where you have a fixed 30% hike or a 40% hike or whatever if you're working in India, where you have to ensure that everything else is taken care of in terms of the remuneration as well as the other benefits. For example, if you are a data scientist, the first thing that you get is a good salary, and the median salary is higher than any of the IT jobs right now. In fact, after glamour, investment banking, hedge fund, and investment bank and algorithmic trading, data science is one of the most, is one of the most richest of the jobs, richest job in the ones where you get more of the job, more of the money in a job. So that's a clear indicator why people are looking for this data science stream and why it's a dream job nowadays. Top 6 predicted jobs in the decade in US. So let's see. A video game designer. Data scientist is number 2. Sustainability consultant, solar sales consultant, social media, and wind turbine. So all of them more are towards the environment side. Video game designer. How many video game designer, by the way, are required by the organizations? Though this says it's 32.4%, but the fact is the number of job vacancies for a video game designers is way less than the number of vacancies for a data scientists. And that's primarily because the data science spectrum is so wide that it's actually required in virtually every other domain, right? Even if it's healthcare, or if it's finance, or if it is retail, or real estate nowadays, or e-commerce. It's like it's super huge, and the impact of a data scientist, a good data scientist, is huge in any organization. That's why it's actually at the second number. So this is something really exciting, because if you can have a projected growth of 18.7% a year, that's phenomenal actually. Well, data scientist salary, of course, the salaries are way higher in the western coast, in the Silicon Valley. 104,000, I'm sorry, for those who are not from India. And number of H1B filings is 2081. So I'm talking of someone who's traveling from India to US. Of course, when I was in US, my salary was in fact much better than what is mentioned here. A data scientist need not to be someone who comes in, who has to be a US resident, or someone who's working in US. Even in India, the salaries are way high, really high, and primarily again for the same reason that the data scientists in any part of the world, they all are making huge money because of the kind of impact they bring into the organizations. Okay, which is you actually. IT salary. Let's look at the IT salary in terms of. I mean, if you look at US and then look at India. So basically, it's around $94,000 if you're in US, which I'm not too sure if it's great. I mean, it's definitely much more than that. Maybe it's a little more, I think it's stale data, I guess. Uh, and the good thing is, it's not just the the total salary. In fact, it's the number of jobs. For example, if there's a job for, let's say, 5 people in hedge fund, and all of them are making $200,000 a year or $300,000 a year, that's great, but that's only for 5 guys. Whereas data scientist requirement is actually with, let's say, 100 companies right now at this point of time, all of them having at least 1 or 2 openings every month. That means there are 200 jobs each month, each offering more than $100,000, which is huge. If you come down to India, the salary is around 1 million rupees, which is not that bad, of course, and it goes up to 1.9 million rupees. I can tell you, you can get more than that for sure. Okay, that's not that difficult. So let's decode what is data science. Well, it seems like it's a study of extraction of knowledge from data. Old saying, I guess. It includes varying elements and is built on techniques and theories from many fields like machine learning, computer programming, mathematical skills, visualization, pattern recognition, and data engineering. Well, honestly, some of them are overlapping terms. Machine learning and pattern recognition, honestly, they both fall under the same bracket called artificial intelligence. Data engineering and computer programming can be clubbed into one. And machine learning, pattern, and mathematical, in fact, could be bucketed into one. And visualization, data engineering, and computer programming could be bucketed into one. So there are 2 sets of skills. Unlike any other technology that you must have seen, machine learning and computer programming and mathematical skills would go back to your basics of your mathematics. Of course, not the basic math that you've studied in your in your secondary school, but something like your elementary years of your college that involves partial differentiation, differential equations, integral calculus, differential calculus, matrix algebra, linear modeling, optimization. That's all what is constituting this term called machine learning. And the other part is data engineering, computer programming, which after the advent of big data has become equally important nowadays, because you could program a system to run on multiple clusters and do some really creative stuff which was not possible before distributed computing. So as a matter of fact, both of them have got equal proportion in terms of their total input to this concept called data science. Visualization to me is a very important aspect, though it does not seem like that technical, but visualization makes your entire work logical. It brings it into a logical space from a more technical space, or a more meaningful space from a more technical space. So basically you're doing a summary of, let's say, behavior of students, and all you present is data. It does not make sense. But if you can bring in some certain graphs, certain chats that are dynamic, that makes a lot of sense to someone who is looking at it, who understands the business but does not understand the technical behavior. Data science practitioners are data scientists, of course. Well, it's a combination of artists, programmers, statisticians, domain SMEs, communicator, client-facing. Honestly, the biggest and the difficult most part in this entire pie, it's not a pie chart, it's a Venn diagram kind of thing. The circles, the biggest circle I would say is the red one, which is statistician. And that's because statisticians, the statistic part is the most difficult job in this entire set of things that you see. And that's because it brings in a lot of math, it brings in a lot of stuff which is not trivial. Programming, I expect you all are from IT background, so programming is not going to be difficult. Client facing, you anyways have been client facing. Artistic ideas, maybe that's because of visualizations. Communication, well, of course it's very important, but communication, by the way, is important in any other field. So it's like a mandatory one. So it's not important, it's mandatory. But statistics here becomes the key factor. And that is why you see so many people getting rejected for a data science interview. And we'll discuss that why. So a career path, skills required, statistical modeling, technical aptitude, business acumen, programming, data warehousing, business intelligence, all of this constitutes your spectrum of data science. Though data science actually is little away from these two concepts, data warehousing and business intelligence. That's pretty much a set of skills that it's there in the IT industry as of now. I think the most important part again is statistical modeling and technical aptitude. And if your technical aptitude is that on the learning side, then it's good in case you are opting for a data science field. But if it's not, then it's going to be a very difficult case, because data science is everyday learning kind of a thing. Every single day you'll come across something new, someone posting something on LinkedIn or somewhere else, article with something XYZ. If you don't read that, that's fine, but in a year or so you'll figure out that you are lacking a lot of skills which other people have, and that's why you have to keep yourself up on your toes every time. That's in fact true for every IT role, but data science is really more exhaustive in terms of learning every day than compared to any other role in the IT field as of now. Job roles: business analyst, data scientist, junior data scientist, and decision scientist. Honestly, there is no such role as decision scientist. A data scientist is supposed to be a guy who could take decisions. So a decision scientist is nothing but a subset of data scientist. Junior data scientist is nothing but a amateur data science. And data analyst and business analyst are the roles that are already existing, and these roles have been really industrialized over a period of time, and they are specific with specific organizations. Advantages: so basically you're able to find insights from data which is not meaningful. So first of all, we could define what happened, then we could figure out a diagnostic analysis on the same, and then predictive analytics. So predictive analytics is like the heart of data science. Predictive analytics is the study of predicting a particular behavior of a system. And prescriptive analytics is now a new version of predictive analytics, where you figure out how can you make it happen. For example, I might forecast about an organization that it'll do great in the next coming year. Let's say it'll grow by 40%. But how can I make it grow by 50%? And that's the series of insights that you can bring in through prescriptive analytics. Now, let's look at one of the cases. Billions of dollars are lost every year because of the frauds in various domains. Okay, Aberdeen analyzed different types of prevailing frauds and companies' readiness to deal with that. Okay, now I can give an example of fraud management for a big credit card company in US. So I was part of the team, and we were asked to figure out how many credit card frauds are going to occur in the next 1 month, specifically related to payment of bills, utility bills. Okay, so what they were trying to figure out was that if someone is going to pay a credit card bill, what good are chances that someone will actually be someone's system would actually breach during that process. And doing that was definitely a non-trivial exercise, but we saved the organizations. I mean, we saved around 1/10 of the organization's total expenditure on fraud management just with a single exercise, and that was amount in billions. Okay, I'm sorry, in millions. Okay, and that was definitely a big boost for the organization, because they felt it's a big investment. It's a great investment because the ROI is humongous. One, you're improving a business. Second, you're making money. You're stopping. You're kind of you're not letting money burn up for some absolutely a weird reason, right? In the same way, if you look at the other things like the theft of physical assets, mortgage, ATM phishing, the credit card, debit card default management, and I remember there was a case with the bank which we were part of again, and wants to figure out whether a particular person will be an NP or not, or particular account applying for a loan, will that be an NP or not. And if he could do that with 70% of accuracy, that was huge for any organization. It was certainly very huge. And the exercise took around 5 months. So of course, whatever money they had spent for that research actually paid in really good fruits, because they saved a lot of money. One NPA dissolves around 100 accounts. So whatever you earn from 100 accounts is taken up by one NPA within the same branch. So if we could avoid that, that's a big plus. Now let's look at the data science career path. Looking at the job opportunity, well, when I started my career, data science term was not even coined. I started my career with Infosys, and then I switched on to IBM Research. When I was part of IBM Research, somewhere in 2008 and 9, McKinsey, along with DJ Patil, who is the chief data scientist for US government now, coined this term data science, and then eventually data scientist. So it's majorly from somewhere around July 2001 to end that this term data scientist started picking up, and by end of 2014, it reached a state from where it only see a big growth. And the reason is the number of people realizing the potential of data scientist. Second, the possibility of introducing a use case that would require a data scientist. Both of them have actually started shaping up big time in every other company. Now, major companies that are using data science, one is Amazon.com. Amazon uses data science for recommendation engine majorly, and that's because a company like Amazon or any other e-commerce like Flipkart in India, their endeavor is to show you the right product in the first 25 seconds. If you cannot show the right product in the first 25 seconds, then there isn't any chance that the customer is going to buy a product from the website. So they want to ensure that whatever is of the liking of the customer, we should show it first. And that's why there's a recommendation engine, which is based on the history of that customer, plus the history of the customer who had similar shopping habits. IBM, I was part of IBM Research, so I can share some part of IBM. So IBM has is in fact one of the biggest vendors for data science, and they've got a tool called IBM Data Insights, which is majorly content analytics, which is basically into text analytics using IBM Watson and Apache UIMA. So IBM Watson is now the new face of content analytics. It's a very costly tool, but they're using it to help organizations save or make sense out of any data that they have. Okay, so you can search about Watson a bit more. Facebook and all the social media, I don't think I need to make an effort here to explain you why they're using data science. Of course, they're using data science for figuring out what people like nowadays. Then Walmart, Honda, Bank of America Finance. Walmart would figure out the best inventory optimization techniques as well as recommendation engine. What could be the best way to sell stuff to people? Let's look at a real life application. So application of data science. So BMW is using predictive analytics to find a place to park. Okay. Now, of course, parking is definitely a one big event nowadays that can frustrate your customers. So basically, BMW is a taxi in US. Okay, so they want to ensure that wherever they are running their taxis, they should pay minimum bills for parking. Okay, and the cost of parking in certain countries goes up proportionately to the number of weekend slots. Okay, so they want to ensure how they can figure out the parking slots, how they can find parking slot at the cheapest cost. And if they don't optimize this particular exercise, then they lose around more than $5 to $6 million each year, which is not small, which is huge, right? So if they can optimize it in a way in which they can see and they can use, they can pay the most rational rates for parking, they'll save a lot of money. And that's what they're trying to do. They figure out or predict which parking slots are going to have an empty slot. Okay, and that is how they are capturing the entire parking ecosystem. E-commerce using it for recommendation, as I told you, that the e-commerce companies, they show you that if you buy this, you can buy this because people have been buying this also. But that's one. Imagine you're looking at YouTube and you're looking at a video for Tom Cruise MI5. Okay, now those who looked at Tom Cruise MI5 also looked at some, let's say some other videos of Tom Cruise, let's say. Now that is first of all on the basis of the history of other people having near about same history pattern as compared to you, as well as your own history pattern. Okay, so in that way you could pretty well serve your customers with the rightmost thing, with the most pertinent thing that they would need. Netflix is one of the biggest adopter of recommendation engine. In fact, they ran a competition on Kaggle that ran for about a couple of years, and after that they gave away the prize of $3 million. It was a combination of some 107 algorithms, and finally they adopted it for their website, though they eventually did not use it, but they actually had that e-commerce recommendation engine. Sorry, this not the e-commerce, but the recommendation engine, going through with their strategy. Repeat business. So basically, one big aspect of data science is the customer 360-degree view. Every company want to ensure that whatever customer, like they have a customer, they want to ensure that the customer is a repetitive customer. That means they should be serving the same customer again and again, so that they have an ongoing business. Now, first of all, you can figure out from a lead itself who are going to be a convertible customer. You can predict that, and based on that, you can serve them better. Let's say you've got 10,000 leads, and the chances of solving your chances of the fact that only 2 of them would convert into a customer is not a great idea, and you would certainly want to ensure that who are more possible customers. Okay, and then you would want to serve them more appropriately than the entire lead crowd you got. Customer churn prevention. Now Airtel and any other telecom company, they have a concept called customer churn, which is the frequency of a customer going away or bleeding away from their technology set or from their services to some other vendor. Okay, and this is one of the biggest problems they've got. So they are using data science big time. Yes, Airtel has a big data innovation lab. They're using all of that to figure out who all are going to leave the company and at what time. Okay, we have a hands-on. So the hands-on basically is a part of our course in Edureka. You can look at the course content and see if that makes sense to you. So is data really the sexiest job of 21st century? The answer is a big yes. It is the sexiest job of the 21st century because of the most adorable market. They are among the most paid jobs. They're difficult and expensive to hire. That's fine. So that means if you are a good data scientist, you've got your say while you are being interviewed. And the fact is there simply aren't a lot of people. The idea is very simple. See, even if a lot of people start learning about data science, not many of them are going to convert into a data scientist for a very simple reason. It's not trivial. It's not yet on the technology that you'll master and you'll understand everything. There's a lot of math, and it's not simple math. There's a lot of logic. There's a lot of algorithm that you have to master, and that's not simple. That's not a simple set of skills. So effectively, there are only 10% of the actual data scientists from the community that constitute the entire data science ecosystem. That means if there are 100 people on LinkedIn saying that they are data scientists, only 10 of them are actual data scientists. Okay, so someone says, so are we just going to talk about just salaries and companies? Well, we did cover some other parts, yes, but salaries and companies was the motivation factor here. And for the rest of the stuff, you can look at the data science curriculum and see if that excites you, Manish. So how do I become a data scientist? Well, we've covered that pretty much. I can give you a link of my video which talks about the fact that how do you become a data scientist. You can search me on YouTube, Anirudh Kala, how to become a data scientist. You'll find a video on that. Alongside that, in data science, you have to study statistics, programming, and some visualizations with the domain knowledge. What are the things we have to study in statistics? Well, it's not the trivial statistics that you probably have seen in your class 12th or your higher school. It's more of statistical learning. There are some really good books in the market. One is Elements of Statistical Learning by Trevor Jarvis. Let me write down the name. Trevor Hesty and Rob Tishirani. The name of the book is Elements of not Introduction. There's a book called Elements of Statistical Learning. It's freely downloadable, and you can download it from the Stanford University website. Okay, so I'm sending it to all. You can read it there. I'm doing MBA right now. I'm not in. I'm sorry. There's one more question before that. How is someone from accountancy in converting to become data scientist? I'm doing MBA right now. I'm non-engineer. I want to excel in data science. So for both of you, I expect the question would more relate to the fact that the technologies that you don't know. Okay. Well, the technology is not important. Okay. Now it's not that you're developing something in Java, an application in Java. Rather, what you're doing is you are using your technology to write a book. Oh, sorry, to write. I'm reading question. To write an equation that you don't want to solve by hand. For example, imagine solving an integral calculus problem. Okay, integration problem in your class 12th or higher school. There were cases which were not that easy to solve. And imagine if that gets complex and complex. Okay, so what do? You cannot you cannot solve it by hand. So you have to use technology to solve that problem, and that's exactly the use of technology in this case. So for you, of course, it's not going to be that easy. You'll have to learn some basics of Python and R, but the most important thing is statistics, which I think should be equally difficult for you as for any other engineer. Okay, so that should not be a problem. I have 10 years in Java development. Can I move into this field? Yes, of course you can move into this field. Just see that you are good in math and statistics. Okay, that's for Pawan. And for Sriram and Clement Lee, who is an accountant, I've just answered the question. The question on accountancy and MBA. Then there's a question by Kriti Mishra. She says, I'm currently working as a technical architect in a retail company. What path should I take so I can smoothly make a transition towards becoming a data scientist? Okay, so to become a data scientist, see, if you think you can do a course of 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks, you can become a data scientist? No, the answer is a big no, you cannot. And for a very simple reason. It's not a technology. It's not a programming language that I tell you, okay, do this, this will happen, do this, this will happen. No. The question, the thing is, we have to have certain knowledge of statistics and then application of that statistics, which is called as applied statistics. Then seeing what behaves better in what kind of scenario. So I think it's a good 2 years effort that you'll have to put in, 1 to 2 years effort that you'll have to put in to become a good quality data scientist. Okay. The course with Edureka is a good one to start with. Okay. That's because it will get you started. Again, it will not make you a data scientist. Honestly, it will only get you started as a data scientist. Please write book's name here. I've already done that. I'm working in a 2 year. Okay, I'm working for 2 years in a DWBI. Now if I do a course on data science, is it easy to get a job and my district expenses on? See, getting a job is not going to be easy for sure. Okay. First of all, if you do a course on data science, you will not get a job directly. You'll be, because I have taken at least 300 interviews so far, and the only reason why companies call me is to figure out whether the person is only a course guy or does he really know something in data science. Okay, so you have to put in efforts, do a course, and then put in efforts of at least 12 to 18 months to become a good data scientist, and then apply for a good job. What all technologies? The question is by Mitali Srivastav. I'm sorry, the question that I've answered was for Arijit. Other is Python. In Python, you need to know scikit-learn, not the entire Python. Scikit-learn, and then pandas, and I'm writing down the name, so don't worry, I'll just ping it to all of you. And NumPy. How can a person from physics can fit as a data science? Well, that's a wonderful question because I'm a physicist. I've been a physics guy, I've been a physics teacher in the past. The guy with physics background can very easily turn into a data scientist because physics is all about logic and data science is not different either. It's all logic, just some different set of logics. So someone from physics can very well turn into a data scientist if the person has really given a lot, has given some thinking to physics. What about visualization? Of course, for visualization, you can use d3.js file. Otherwise, we use a lot of R and matplotlib in Python. So the physics question was for Gopi Krishna, and for visualization, I just missed. I'm sorry, what was the name? Anyways, what are the things we covered under this? I don't understand what this is. Rakesh, can you please rewrite a question? Only after complete statistics should I move to data science study? I think that's a good idea. If you not completely knowing statistics, okay, let me just write down the set of things which are important for statistics. One is linear regression, there is logistic, there is splines, Mars, random forest, boosting, AdaBoost and gradient, then bagging, then neural networks, support vector machines, okay, then ROC curves, AUC, F-score, sensitivity, specificity, then what? Cross validation, yeah, certain tests like t-tests, NHST, Walls tests. Write some basic topics on statistics to start data analysis. I've done that. What was your background? How did you become a data scientist? Okay, that's a very good question. I have a bachelor's in computer science and I have a master's in theory of computation and advanced statistics from Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. That is how I started into statistics. And then I joined IBM Research, which was purely a machine learning job. And from there, I joined McKinsey in consulting. And from there, I joined ZS Associates. And then finally, I joined a startup. Then I've shifted back to India. So all my work was actually around statistics and machine learning. So my master's helped me to some extent, but I think it was purely my project work and my constant learning behavior, I would say, if I could appreciate myself in that case, that led me, let me become a data scientist. I have that answered the question, Krishanu, I'm sorry. Please write some basic topics of statistics. I've done that, Vinod. I'm a dev and currently working as a market research, an MBA with no programming background, looking forward to be getting into data science. What are the prerequisites required to get into data science and what other programming languages are a must? And how is data science different from big data? I think the most important part of the question is how is data science different from big data? Well, big data is a term nowadays used pretty much for everything, which is wrong. Big data means like you are able to process a lot of data. Okay. Now, why it has revolutionized the data science field is previously you look at any statistician, they used to take samples of data because their programming capability was not beyond a particular set of data set. Okay, particular size of data set. Now, with the advent of these this big data technologies, I can now run my analytics on top of terabytes of data, which can give me much better results than what I was getting with the samples. Of course, with the sample, you might not be able to capture the entire representation of the population. Hence, you will not get a great answer. So, big data is a mechanism to process, store, and manage data sets which are really huge. Data science is the ability to make sense of the data. It could be big data, it could be small data. You can use big data technologies. In fact, R can be used with Hadoop, Python can be used with Hadoop, and there is this new Apache Spark, which is integrated with Apache MLib, which can be used for large-scale machine learning. And for the prerequisites, I've already mentioned that you have to, one language is a must, so you should start learning R. R as in R programming language. I'm working on HPCC, Big Data Technology. I'm also learning R. What else do I need to become data scientist? Statistics. Simple. You need to know the algorithms. I'm currently working as a data engineer, data warehousing. Do I have to knowledge? No, not necessarily. I don't have Java knowledge. I work on Hadoop like day in and day out. I don't have Java knowledge. Whenever I need to run a MapReduce, I can run it with Python, and with Hive, I can pretty much query all my big data sets. How do we overcome no data scientist experience during interview? I think that's a pretty good question, Clement. Again, simply for a very simple reason. Most of the people who are interviewed in a data, for example, whenever I interview a guy, they say they've got 10 years of experience in data science. Okay, one is data science and big data. One is big data big data came into advent after 2004. That's when Google wrote its very first research paper and was first used outside Google in 2007 in Yahoo, and it was adopted by Apache in 2008. Even if you were the most, let's say active member in Apache community, you couldn't have used it before 2009. Okay, so first of all, they are liar. Second set of people are those who have no experience, but then they show that they've got some experience. Those are the guys, those who have done a course and they come up and they study some basic set of problems, and then they come up and they say, oh, I know data science and I've been doing this, and they are caught on the very first by the very first question. I think the best, that's why I've been saying it's not give it a 1 year time. Learn, do a course, take a data set, try to research on it, try to come up with the optimal answer in 6 months, then do another project and try to improve whatever you've learned from your first project. And after 1 year, when you appear for an interview, and if you've done those two things properly, I can assure you that you'll certainly find a job in data science very easily, because you would know certain stuff, and with your background in other things, if you're an engineer, if you're an accountant, whatever, you can certainly back up your entire domain understanding. What do you see in a good candidate for data analytics, statistics, and learning capability? I don't really ask questions on technology. Of course, I do ask certain architectural problems for big data, but I don't really ask how do you do that in Python. What does R means? R is a programming language. The capital R stands for it stands for a programming language named R. Arijit, how to get that opportunity after the course? Will Edureka give that 1 year access and business case? Well, business case and everything, it's if you join Edureka course, you will get a project, but that project is for a week, so it won't be something that help you. There are thousands of cases available online. Plus, if you're really interested, I can help you get certain projects. I have my own startup. I can help you do that. By the way, I'm the instructor for data science course also. So once you're done with the course, I can certainly help you with some of the projects. I have some of the industry projects also. What are to be covered under visualization? Is some kind of mathematics involved in visualization? No. Visualization majorly is some library knowledge with some artistic understanding of things. What are the parameters subject area wise which the interview data scientist taken? How to make yourself ready to crack the interview? You should know statistics basics, algorithms basics. When I say basics, that means you should know it from the basics. Okay, and you should have worked on at least a couple of big problems. Otherwise, there's no way you can crack the interview. I had studied statistics during my undergraduation. Would that help in data science? It all depends on how much have you done that. For example, if you've not done regression, basic regression, I'm sorry, whatever you've studied in statistics is not going to help. How can I learn R language in a comprehensive way? R, well, Edureka course is a good way to start that, but R is also it's an open source, so you can find a lot of tutorials on R online. Edureka will give you a good, fast-moving course that can help you get your feet wet in R also. Can we connect on LinkedIn? Yes, of course, we can all connect on LinkedIn. My email ID, you can search on LinkedIn by Anirudh Kala, ANIRUDH KALA Kala, and I think I'm the only data scientist by that name. What are the courses you will suggest in Edureka for learning data science? Well, there's only one course for data science, so you should do that. How to enroll for the data science course which you mentioned above? I think you'll get an email from Edureka, which will have a link to Edureka data science course. Otherwise, you can go on to Edureka website and you'll find the link to the data science course. From where can I get a small projects on data science, on data analysis? Well, you can go to topcoder.com. TopCoder, TOPCODER. TopCoder was my last organization. So basically, they are into data science challenges. So they take up problems from the industry, the actual problems with which a particular organization is struggling. They put it up as a challenge, and whosoever solves that problems gets some money. Okay, so you can start participating in those challenges. In that way, you'll land up solving a problem for a company. And that the question was Siraj, I guess, Siraj Sharik. How to enroll for data science course, which you mentioned just now? Oh, that was Mitali. I think I've already answered the question. Is SQL a prerequisite? Yes, SQL is not a prerequisite, but you should know SQL. SQL is the easiest of the entire lot, that I've mentioned in terms of the set of things that you need to learn. The next question is again by Mitali. Does the data science course by Edureka involves in real-time projects? Yes, so all the algorithms that we'll do is based on a case study. In practical data scientist job, how do you relate R language to work? Will it be the same or not? I'm not getting the question. In practical data scientist job, how do you relate R language to work? Well, I use R every day. I use R, Python, Hadoop, MongoDB every single day. Okay. So R is definitely very useful. When it comes to text, Python is more useful. Before joining the course, what are the homeworks we need to do? Well, basic statistics, mean, mode, median, all these things, basics of statistics, you should know. If you know some programming language, that will help, because that will help you understand syntaxes a little faster. Okay, so that was the last question by Arijit. Is there any classroom training available, or all are online? Well, honestly, classroom trainings are virtually not possible nowadays, because if the class is in one city, you might not be in another city. If the class is let's say in one particular city, you might be in that city, but you cannot travel. If the class is I mean, there could be several reasons why a physical class does not really help. So online class, I've taken around 5 batches in Edureka, and I've taught with other organizations too. I'm also a corporate trainer, and I can tell you, online courses have become much more reliable and much more convenient, because you can get training recordings available, so you can you can go through the recordings again and again, and you can ask questions the same way you could ask the instructor in a physical class. I think the only difference is you cannot touch, or you cannot shake hands with the instructor. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same. Is there any classroom training? Did not get you on LinkedIn. Just search by my name. It's Anirudh Kala, LinkedIn. Even if you search it on Google, mine is the first LinkedIn ID you'll see. Okay, my name is Anirudh Kala. Just search by this name. How many programming languages in a typical data scientist job? I would say R and Python are the must ones. Can you please show a small practical demo on how data science work? So R is open at my end. Okay, so basically we're trying to figure out the cost of a house. We're trying to get to the cost of a average house. Average house in the sense average sized house in Boston. And we were using different variables like the median age of every person in that city, the crime rate, the pollution, the taxation in that area, all of that, to predict the median cost of a house. And to do that, we use an algorithm called I think we're using random forest here, and using that we predicted the summary. We predicted we did all these analysis, like what could be the reason. For example, black as a number of people who are black. I mean, it's some racist ideology, but can the race of a particular person determine the house cost, the price of a house in a particular city, or the crime rate, can that identify? So we did all that to figure out, can we actually see some um, uh, some pattern in the house prices. For example, the crime rate gave a very clear indication on as the crime rate decreases, the house rate increases quite drastically. So this is a small demo that we're doing for random forest. Which operating system should I use to learn big data and data analysis? If you can afford a Mac, go for a Mac. I mean, honestly, should go for Linux, by no means Windows. Which IDE do you use for? I use RStudio. Mac might not be good for open source. No, it's good enough because all these open source ones that we need, they have a Mac version also. For example, R is Mac version. Thanks a lot. How is SAS? SAS is good. SAS is good, but it has an inherent cost. Plus, it has some issues with some of the complex algorithms like neural networks. You cannot use neural networks in SAS. RStudio is a freeware, or I need to install? You need a open license, so it's a freeware actually. Yeah, I've seen the invitations, so many of them. Yeah. How a neural network can help here? The neural network is algorithm, and like any other algorithm, it has its own application. We'll see that. I mean, once if you join the course, I'll definitely expand that, expand the horizons of neural network for you. But it's another algorithm. It can help in exactly the same way any other algorithm could help you. Of course, honestly, no course can give you or can make you a data scientist. The course does not claim that you'll become a data scientist once you finish the course. Important is that you do a course, but you also work on it for next 6 to, I would say, at least 10 to 12 months. Then only you'll be in a position to say, then only you'll be able to, very strongly position yourself in a data science industry. Any good books on Python? Well, there is a course in Python also. Good books on Python. I think Python for Dummies is a good one. But the best one is the Scikit documentation on the web. Scikit Learn documentation. Any online course for statistics in Python? Yes, you can go to Coursera. You can go to EDX. They've got courses on statistics and Python. I cannot say that they're not great. They are good, but they are more from academic purpose. They don't give you a practical knowledge. That's where Edureka differs from those courses. But certainly they are good ones. They're not bad at all. Online courses for R, yes, there are some online courses. One is DataCamp, DATACAMP. It's a free one. You can go there. Again, more from a academic perspective. What are the certifications for data science? Edureka has a certification, but I don't think any certification helps. If you know stuff, you can say that in the interview, I know stuff. Even if you know stuff, if you don't know stuff and you have a certificate, it cannot help you. Okay. Python for data analysis from Morelli is a good one. Yeah, certainly. You can go to Coursera or EDX. They've got Python courses. You can just search with Python courses. There's a course, free course on Udacity also. You can go there and see. Okay. Fine then. So now we've reached the end of this webinar. Thank you so much for joining in. There's a question, okay. For statistics needed in data science, is there any good book? I've mentioned the book name, Elements of Statistical Learning. Again, Mitali, I'm writing it here. Elements, E-L-E-M-E-N-T-S, Elements of Statistical Learning by Rob Tish Irani and Trevor Hasty. Okay, great then. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you had an informative session, and all the best. And thanks everyone for their LinkedIn invites. Oh, there's a question. One more question. Thank you so much. Bye bye and take care.